Hello there, everyone, and welcome along to a fabulous Tuesday. I hope you're having a great time. Good morning there, Glenn. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, guys. And for those across the pond, a happy July 4th. Hope you're having a fantastic day, however you may celebrate it. I'm sure it'll be a good one. So maybe even better with a little bit of loose watercolours, and we can offer that from the UK to our American cousins today. How's that sound? Sounds like a little gift. Sounds like a little treat. So I hope you've all had a great week. A cookout, Glenn. That sounds an interesting concept. It's great if you've got the weather. When we have a cookout in England, it's usually called a washout. So we go outside and everything's just a bucket of water over the head. That's really what we really get in this part of the world. So hi as well from Pennsylvania as well. It's very kind of you to join me on your very special day. So I hope you're having a great time, and all celebrations are a great thing to get people together. So let's have a little look at our traditional loose and see how we're getting on. And I hope you have a go at this, guys. I hope you try it and keep trying it, because it's a matter of repetition. That's really what it is. So hi there from Jeffersonville, and Shirley, hi there, welcome along, great to see you. My day's not complete without chatting to you, Shirley, in some form or another, whether it be on Tinternet or whether it be verbal. So again, I do apologise if the camera goes in and out. I'm trying to get control of that. I've got a little lead on it, and I'm trying to rein it in. There he goes, brilliant. We're settling down. So okay, so today there's a special treat. We're going to do well, I call it floating on air, but I really should have called it floating on water. So it's going to be a lily on a lake with a few lily pads as well. So let's see what transpires today. So hi guys, everyone. Hi fella, Roger, welcome from Australia as well. Rosanna from upstate New York. Oh, you're brilliant people. You're brilliant people. Right, okay. Let's have a little look at what we're gonna do. So, old faithful loose pencil, Leonard Loose. His great little pencil. Most of my equipment begins with P. So it's paintbrush, pencil, palette, paper. I could run out of names quite rapidly, couldn't I? So I might need to change the names there a bit as well. Hi there, Melanie. Welcome along. Hope it's sunny in Gloucestershire today. So let's start off. A few little dots down for my guide and my little pointers in life. So wherever I go, I'll put points down and little dots. If I go to the supermarket, I draw dots around the aisles, so it actually leads me around a bit like the labyrinth. And I finally get to the till at the end. So dots everywhere. Perfect. So little dots there. I've got this flower, really, I suppose a lily, just tilting towards the right-hand side. Idea of where the centre is. Obviously, we've got the leaves or petals this side, and I've got them on the far side from the centre. So it's always worth breaking down what the actual object is. So hi there, Marianne, welcome. Happy Independence Day, absolutely. It's going to be a true party today for you guys over there. A little reflection on the water. And we've got a few lily pads around. The great thing about the lily pads, the nice dark colours, so these are going to be great for me to use as a negative tone, negative background. And always try and build that into your images. Don't just throw them on and think, oh, I wish I'd have put that there. Even if you do say the word ooh before you ask a question. But placing them down in a useful position is very well useful. So you can see the word of the day might be useful. So hi as well, Kimmy and Amy, welcome along. There's my little drawing, guys. Very quick, simple, easy to do. Your painting starts before the pencil or the paintbrush, even later on, hits the paper. Start thinking about the composition, start thinking about positioning, how to tailor, how to chop things out of your image, because in loose you want to get as away with as little as possible. That's what I've done in life, really. In most of the careers I attempted to pursue, I tried to get away with as little as possible. It never really worked. So a good one for you, Shirley, absolutely. So there's my lily pads, there's my little drawing. Doesn't look overly committed at the moment, and that's what most people say I should be, committed occasionally, but then I get over it and move on. So what we're going to do today, oh, I tell you who's in the building. He's been in the building for quite a while, and he hangs around my drinks cabinet and my fridge. Big Brian, there he is. He's a great guy. He's great company, a great house guest. But Brian actually does do some good work when I need him to. So Big Brian is, I don't know if you can see, is just shampooed his hair, so he's a little bit wet there. So he's got water all over his hair. So start off with water, placing it down, Big Brian. Excellent work, excellent work. Pressing it, pushing it in the direction of the object. Just going to start on the one side. There's a slight little bit of tone in there because Brian's got a little bit of colorant in his hair today. He's gone for the red look. There we go. So we're going to start off with lemon yellow to a very, very, very thin consistency. I'm just going to press this, push this in the direction of the object. So the petals are going to go that way to the left of center, and then right, so obviously to the right of center. Not a bad little gauge of how to tilt off the petals. Putting them all down, just throwing it about, doing the okey cokey. And then you turn around, and that's what it's all about. The far side, again, think about the direction of the object. Got everything on. Then, slightly darker tone. With a little bit of gold ochre. Throwing this about. Some of it, most of these I'll use, some I won't use, but they're in position. Again, not a bad way to think about it. So I'm going to get a little bit of Indian red. I'm just going to mark out my sort of center. Just job up a little bit on. The great thing is I can throw these on fairly randomly, but centrally. They'll bleed off, but I can actually control those and decide where they want to go. So I've got everything going on there. Then we've got another new guy in the building, Terence Tissue. Absolutely, he's a great fella. Very absorbent. He'll listen to anything. He'll absorb anything. Put him on his side there. I'm just going to pick a few little lines off of direction. Great stuff, Tissue. Great for joy and pain. All the things there. Just pick a bit of this off, throw it about. Absolutely, yes, I enjoy Indian red, light red, a nice little tone to it. So, blimey, oh, I tell you, I went for a walk the other day. I took the dog, not my dog, I just got a dog and went for a walk. And we went for miles and miles and went up hills and through forests and everything. And I came to this lake, and this is what really inspired me for this painting today. And guess what I saw in the lake? Have a guess. Absolutely. I saw not one, not two, but 3 rigger sisters all bathing in this lake in the forest. It was quite a sight to behold. And they were doing lots of different swimming moves. So they were doing this one. This one was the rigger front crawl. And they did this, they dived in as well, off just a sort of rocky promontory. It was absolutely fabulous to behold. And obviously I said, Miss Rigger, are you doing anything Tuesday? And she said, no, actually, no. I said, well, why don't you come and join me and do a little bit of loose painting, because you're fabulous and everybody loves you. Okay, so here she is, Miss Rigger, after a swim in the forest, or after quite a windy tale. She's actually with us, which is great. So what I'm going to do with Miss Rigger now, holding it slightly close to the end, I'm just going to flick a few little lines out. And this will do 2 things. It'll start to give me some lines of direction, and also it'll tell me how wet the paper is. And try to imagine the actual direction of these petals. So the ones slightly further in are going to be more upright. The ones towards the end are going to be more on an angle, bit liney downish type of thing. So all we do is put a liney downish type of angle on the closer ones to us, and the further ones away, they're a bit more standy upish. That's all technical language, but it gives you a good little description of the closer they are to the eye line, the more the angle drifts off. So always consider your angles as you're going about that. So got all that on. Going to flick a little bit of water around with the lovely Miss Rigger, and she's doing that job so finely today. So fine, Miss Rigger. So I'm putting the line on, and then I'm drifting it off and just choosing the ones that I want. And it starts to pick out, just very delicately, the overall suggestion. Thank you, Glenn. I do sound occasionally like an artist, but who knows? Artists are quite strange people, aren't they? But I find them good fun. Okay, so got all that on, just leaving it floating about, very delicate and light. Yeah. So Brian. Yes, Mr. Geeson. Would you possibly be able to help Miss Rigger out and myself to do a little bit of pond work? Absolutely, Mr. Geeson. There we go. Brian, as receptive as ever, is going to help us do a little bit of lake work. Yeah. So Brian, could you load yourself up with light blue? I'll tell you what, Brian, before you do, put a little bit of water down. There you go. There you go. Okay. Now load yourself up, Brian. There we go. Drag that across. Scooting and rooting quite closely to the lily, but not right up, because I want to tailor that in a minute or 2. Then I'll tell you what, Brian, choose another colour, something a bit darker. What about intense blue? Okay, Mr. Geeson. So dragging this across, let's keep it within a square. Move it up a bit, guys, so you can all see. Drag across. And again, I'm going to have a lily pad up at this end. Dragging this across. Big brush, big moves. Don't be fiddly with it. When you get to the closer edges of the lily, you can start to shape it a bit, but leave white areas as well, because these are options all the way through the painting. A bit more water on the lovely Brian now, so you can scoot back over, so you're really getting some pigment down, and then you can move it about. I always want to go into the okey-cokey when I say that. It's a nightmare phrase. So got all that going on. Now I'm going to drag a little bit gold ochre at a rapid pace through some of the blue tones that I've got down. Now what these are going to be is my reflections. And I do reflect quite often. I usually gaze into the distance or look in a mirror. Both are a great way to reflect. So, chopping this about. Are these petals or are these reflections? Totally up to me. Dragging that about. Got him all going on. Now then, Miss Rigger. Yes, Mr. Geeson. What a beautiful voice you got. Now we're going to drag some thicker pigment just through the water. Still fairly wet. If I put my fingertip on there, I would have paint on my fingertip. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not insured and I can't swim. Now Miss Rigger, look at her doing that little bit of delicate work there, chopping into the shape. There we go. Yippity doo, da, yippity day. Ma oh ma, what a wonderful day. Got all that on. Oh, maybe we may all do a song together, guys. What do you feel about that? Because I've always got a song in my heart. Most people like it to stay just there in my heart. But with you guys about, we can have a little bit of a party. And we can maybe do a song or two in a minute. Right, okay. So we've got start of a lily pad there. A little bit of gold ochre with sap green. Now just chopping around here. Throwing it on. Little lily pad. Just think of it as big globules of water. Bit further down, a bit more green. Let's get a few lily pads in the distance. Now, and more. You're very kind, everyone. You're very kind. I usually sing when I'm painting. So I know a little song. Let's have a little look. I was listening to a little bit of Frank Sinatra in the car the other day as I was driving miles. I drove over 1,000 miles in the last 4 days. That is a long way. I almost blew the radio up because it was a long journey. But what he was singing was Fly Me to the Moon. So I think we can have a go at that. What do you think, guys? Get yourselves ready. Fly me to the moon as we paint the lily pad on the water. Just a quick thing. We're just getting this softer as we get into the distance. Just dragging across. Just bleeding, doing its own thing. There we go. Where did I go? I went all over the country again. I went to Liverpool again. I went to Hull, which is an estuary coming inland from the east. I went to Rotherham. I went to Sheffield. Ooh, by gum was I tired. But I'm just recovering today. So, just chopping around these shapes. Absolute. Let's do a song, guys. I keep forgetting. In my weary state. How does it go? Let's have a look. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Fly me to the moon. Let me swing among the stars. Let me know what life is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, take my hand, oh, in other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You're the one I worship and adore. In other words, let's be true. In other words, I love Miss Rigger. There you go, guys. Right, okay. We'll do another verse in a few moments, or another song when I know the words. All I'm doing now is just chasing a little bit of tone around edges of the top of the lily pad. So I hope you're all singing along on Independence Day, guys. In other words, have a great day. I shall be having sausage and eggs in the UK just to celebrate as well. So I've got that shape on, guys. Let me just get back to the painting a bit. I do get distracted, don't I? All of the time. Very light work just with Miss Rigger, just throwing that around. And then drifting it off. You don't really, bangers, absolutely. Bangers and mash, well, bangers and sausage. No, sausage are bangers, aren't they? Oh, I don't know. Getting a little bit confused. Right, a little bit of dark green, guys. Let me get back to the script. If there was a script, all made up, as in life. The interesting phrase one of my friends said the other day was everything is imagined. It's not overly a cue for a John Lennon song, but everything is imagined. So really that does equate itself quite nicely into this style of painting. Everything. It's the interpretation you put on an object that gives it its value, either perceived or by others. So with a painting like this, it's so variable that it's so open to so many interpretations. So it's an interesting way to think about this style of approach. So get that down there. Dragging these shapes around. Closer up, we might have a little bit of detail and information about what these direction lines are doing. So your lily pad just flicking out. Ooh, look how thick that is, Miss Rigger. Blimey. Oh, you'll need a shower after this. There we go, dragging that on. So you see how delicate and light the flower is in the centre still. Cerulean green, Glenn, this one. It's just straight from the tube. I really use everything straight from the tube. I don't really pre-mix anything because sort of in a wet style, by the time you've placed it on, it's bled into something next to it, it's disappeared. The actual initial colour that you placed down has gone in no time. So you can't control these pre-mixed little beauties that you develop, so you're better off throwing it on and letting it mix on the paper. So I'm still just dragging the little bit of tone around the shapes. Really mixture of blues, intense blue and a little bit of cerulean blue. A few little ripples in the distance there. Getting some distance on the whole thing. So now we can pop back in, now it's dry, to do a little bit of finer work. So let's get into the center. I'm going to hop over this pool of stuff just here and pop in there. So how do you guys celebrate Independence Day in your part of the world? I presume Independence Day was independence from us, I think. I'm not very good at history, but I presume that's what it was. So we're actually getting back together after all that to do. Little shapes now at the front, just with a ladyship. Dragging a few lines down. Taking these, a banger on a bun. Like fireworks, blimey, it's a massive event then, I take it. Well, I'll obviously hear about it, but I've never been in the US when it's actually happening. So one of these days, well, I say one of these days, it'll actually be July the 4th. Won't it be any other day, me celebrating? I need a reason and an excuse. So it's varies all over the country, it sounds to me, just from reading your responses there, guys. So we're celebrating with loose watercolours today, aren't we? There we go. Let's drag this down. So what I'm doing now is picking out the end detail. Quite a lot of people get a bit foxed when they get lower down because they think they've got to pick out every leaf, and that's where you get tight again. So just pick out a few choice pieces. It's like going to the butcher's, really. Just pick out the ones that look the nicest, and they will give you that direction around the object. But if you go in there and start throwing too much on, then it all gets tight, it all gets messy, it all gets a bit too over the top. And I should know about being over the top. There we go. So a few more little bits down here. And you can strengthen the tone up a little as you go. But if you start too strong with these description lines, it's all too early and all too much. And you can actually feel your way gently around the painting. If you commit yourself a bit too early, then you can go in too heavy, and you're fighting against that second level of strength that's maybe gone too far too early. So just do it delicately, and then it'll start to pick out the shape. Yeah. So got that. Got a few bits on the other side. Little lines there. Spectacular. Again, a few little ones over here. Nothing too much. Dragging these down. Oh, that's very charming of you to say. Watching me is a very good way to say, oh, you do me too much honour. You do me too much honour. Well, I feel equally the same about you guys. It's great of you to join me. It really is. And it's great that people are supportive and interested in this sort of style of painting. Never ceases to amaze me how keen people are to get looser in their approach to painting. It's wherever I go, that's what everybody seems to want to do. I think you naturally gravitate to want to get looser in your painting. So it's not just a regional thing. So got all that on. Now I'm going to pick out a few leaves just at the bottom to decide or reshape a few. So just by chopping over a few lines, they will automatically suggest they're in the water. Yeah. So reflections. Pulling those lines out. Again, a little bit stronger tone at the bottom. Now Miss Rigger is oodled up to her eyeballs with intense blue. Just these lines are enough to give a little bit of movement to the water. Dragging this back. And if you chop over your shadows, then again it just reiterates that's what they are, and it distinguishes them from the fixed. Forgot the end of my sentence now. The fixed something. Yeah, the fixed. No, the actual petals. So I've got all that going down there. Little lines of stuff. Early rock and roll, Miriam. What sort of song do you like? What's your favourite? Not that I can commit myself to even attempting anything, but I like. What have I been listening to? Oh, I know one. Country. I used to like James Taylor. I don't know if he's an American guy. I've not listened to him for a while. I think he did one called In My Mind I'm Going to Carolina. Oh, maybe it's Carolina on My Mind. I think like that. I'll try and remember how it goes in a second. So again, a few more little lines. And again, each time I'm gauging the water against the flower. So now I just need to get in there and get the flower a little bit more strength. There we go, little dots. Each time I'm going back with a slightly richer strength just to pick out negatively and to make it a little bit more boisterous, a bit more solid. All right, so Carolina on my mind. I'll give it a go. Join in though, guys. This is a team effort. Okay. 3, 2, 1. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can you see the sunshine? Can you just see the moonshine? Ain't it like a friend of mine? Hit me from behind. Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Don't know the second verse, guys. You need to do the second one. Carry on as I paint with a little bit of Windsor Violet and Indian Red. Again, little shapes each time, just laying the brush down on its side. Get that on, dragging it round. Dots and dashes, don't be afraid just drop this water around, bleed it off, and see how we go. There we go. Oh, I do like singing. I don't do any of it, only in my room and with you guys. But it's good fun. Clears the mind and clears the soul, I think. So getting that on, dragging it round. Don't want to do too much. Got a nice reflection going on. Right, let me have a little look. Okay. So I'm trying to think of another song, guys, because once you get in the mood, you get in that little swing of things. It starts to take you away a bit, doesn't it? Dropping that on. Oh, you're from Carolina, so that's perfect little song for you to join in on there, Becky. Absolutely. Dragging this around, softening it off, throwing all the bits about, shaking it all about. There we go. Oh, I know another one I used to like and still do is Sam Cooke. So a little bit of a, was he soul singer? I don't know a great deal about him, but I love his voice. Absolutely spectacular. I think Bring It On Home, I think. So again, just tightening bits and bobs up at the front. Again, trying to get too drawn into this, doing too much. I often do. But there again, when I'm sort of demoing, it's good to get the idea across, the message of how I go about it each time. Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a little bit of Sam Cooke, if I can remember it. Again, terrible memory. That's why I didn't last in most of my careers. This is the only one that worked for me. Gently just moving that around. Ooh. Right, let's try a bit of Sam Cooke, guys. Are you ready? Sam Cooke, what's it called? Bring It On Home, that's it. I'll have a little cup of tea. Oh, I forgot to show me my little teacup. There it is. I've got the little farmyard cup today. Don't want to spill it on the painting. Or maybe you could actually incorporate it into the painting as well. So last song, guys, I'll try a bit of Sam Cooke as we finish this bit off. All right, okay. 3, 2, 1. If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, oh, honey, bring it to me. Bring your sweet love, and why don't you bring it home to me? Yeah, yeah. I know you left when you left, but now I only hurt myself. Oh, honey, bring it to me. Bring your sweet love, and why don't you bring it on home to me? Yeah, yeah. I'll give you jewelry and money too. That ain't all I'll do for you. Oh, honey, bring it to me. Bring your sweet love, and why don't you bring it home to me? Yeah, there we go. That's my throat gone, guys. I think the neighbours usually come out and, well, sometimes they clap, sometimes they throw rabbit food. Who knows? So, a few little lines on the lily pads, guys. Dragging it round. And again, when you're doing this, as in art, just overdo it. There's no real rules. Flipping this about. I won't say doing the okey cokey, but you turn around, that's what it's all about. So really, I've done oodles on that, folks. I think I've been more distracted by singing songs, which is, well, who knows, all good fun. So there we go, guys. Thank you. I'm just tidying up now, little flippity bippity bits, because I've got to go and get some milk and I'm out of butter. So that's my celebration for the day. Tiny little marks, sparingly, not too many. Chop away. Get your shapes on and then decide how you want to tailor it by moving water over, moving your pigment over. If I want to chop one of these out, I'll just take it into the water, even that one. Drag your line across. Great bit of fun, guys. I think that'll do me for the day. Like I say, we're low on milk or we're low on butter. So, okay, guys, I really need to round up there. I do so much appreciate you popping along. Happy Independence Day again to everyone. I do hope you've enjoyed that. It's been good fun. I've enjoyed it too. And one for you to try. Get your little flowers on, get the water on, get all the colour on, throw it about, sing your head off, kick your feet about, do whatever you want to do, because it's all about enjoyment. Enjoy the day, guys. Always enjoy the day, because this is the best day there is. Quick little plug, if I may. Last thing, my subscription channel, I think I've got 129 on there now, so there's a lot of stuff to get through if you're interested in developing your loose to a bigger degree. Just pop along there. There's a few links on easily to get across. I've got Patreon as well. That's a great little site, and I've got my static images on there, plus other bits and bobs. I'm always trying to improve things. So if you've got any suggestions at all, I'm very open to ideas. So just drop me a line and I'll see what I can do. Finally, the holidays update. Very serious about Italy at the moment. And I've got a few other offers in the pipeline, but I won't keep saying the ones too early because I don't want to throw people off. But Italy, definitely next year is going to be a real goer, I believe. And also I've got 2 more holidays in Wales booked next year. So this year's all sorted, but next year I think the end of April and September, nice ones to look out for if you want to come and join me. Obviously, bring your paints, bring your word sheets, and we'll have some painting and some singing in the forests or the amphitheatres of Rome. Wherever you want to go, let's sort something out. So great to be again, guys. Have a fabulous day, and catch you again very, very soon.